Hey, it's Stephanie Ferrara, your empowered creativity coach. As a Christ-centered business branding coach, I help women entrepreneurs who are in the early stages of their business to break through the barriers of fear and doubt, to define who their ideal clients are and go after them with boldness in a very authentic way. I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Sarah Heer today. She and I have been friends for years, and we've done network marketing business together, and we've just been connected for so long and been through a lot together. And it's exciting to have her on here to talk about her latest adventure into a new blog that she started last year called Arkie Travels. And she lives here in Arkansas with me, and she and her husband Paul travel Arkansas and document these unique experiences that they have because they are focused on staying in local B&Bs and going to local restaurants and then sharing their experiences so that others who have an interest in traveling within easy driving distance for a weekend can come and experience those same types of places based on their reviews. And it's been really cool over the last year to watch this grow for her. I remember them early on in some of their first travels and documenting them just on Facebook at first. And it was just really neat because they find some of the most unusual and unique places to stay and to eat. And it really is cool. It really does kind of bring out that desire in me, who I'm kind of a homebody and I don't travel a whole lot. I've lived in Arkansas for 20 plus years now, and there is so much I haven't seen because that's just not what I do. But I've been able to kind of live vicariously through her blog and see these neat places that I just don't know that I'd even be brave enough to go stay there. Like it's pretty neat. It's pretty interesting. And they've done some that have been out of state when they've gone away, and some urban camping and things that have been really kind of neat to see. It's like, oh, you're so brave and adventurous. It's not me. Anyway, I'm so excited for you to meet my friend Sarah today. Let's get to it. Sarah, I'm so glad that you are here today, and I'm excited to talk to you about your Arkie Travels blog and how that came about, what you decided to put on there, how you decided to even start it, and what that motivation was, and where you think it's going in the future. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me on. My husband and I decided to start Arkie Travels almost a year ago, and I can't believe it's already been a year. It's passed by so fast. It's been crazy. And we decided to start it because we would travel and people would ask us, well, where are these places that you're going? Like, they see the pictures that we're posting and they're like, I want to go there. I want to go check that out. And so we decided to start a blog just to document our travels and to show people directions for how to get there and where we're going. And we try to only do local companies. And so we talk about like the local restaurants that we go eat at and the local places we shop and the Airbnbs that we stay at. And the word just got out and it's been awesome. It's been a great year.
I think that's so cool because I do remember one of those early bed and breakfasts that you went to. I remember seeing the gorgeous pictures that you posted on Facebook, and then it looked like it was like in the middle of nowhere. It's like, I don't even know, where is that city in Arkansas? Like, how did you even find that?
It was probably in the middle of nowhere.
It probably was. I know. Right? And I'm like, how did you even discover this bed and breakfast? And then I think about like the person that starts at the bed and breakfast and like, how did they even choose in the middle of nowhere to start something like that?
Yes, exactly. Well, maybe they're close to something fun. I don't know. We stayed in a train caboose.
Oh,
we
wow.
stayed in a yurt. We stayed in a bubble tent, a teepee. We really look for unique places to stay so that we can document it and send it back to our peeps.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I love it. And I've enjoyed watching, just watching that progress and watching your travels and thinking, oh my gosh, I could never do that.
It's a lot for sure.
So I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when we actually met?
I remember, okay, so were we in Jacksonville, Florida? Was it at that dinner? So
It
you
was.
asked me that question, and I've been thinking about it. I was like, where did we meet? And I do remember in Jacksonville, my ex-husband's work, and we were camping at this, I don't know, a lake. What was it?
It
The
was
ocean.
right on the ocean. Yeah.
The ocean, yeah. And they had like this campground, and we would come and we would have dinner that y'all would cook, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
It
I
was a
remember
lot of fun.
yeah,
And
I
I,
remember the mosquito spray that you made. There was some kind of mosquito spray made out of essential oils,
yes.
and it was awesome. Like it worked. You should put that recipe in the show notes.
I will remember that. Yes, definitely. Because the mosquitoes were thick for sure.
Yes,
Where
yes,
we were camping. It was nice to get out actually on the ocean where the breeze kind of kept them away. Um,
yeah.
but I remember what actually connected us and what kept us connected after that, not just, meeting the spouse of a coworker, but
Hmm.
over dinner, we were both talking, I think, somehow about those side businesses that we had.
Oh yeah.
And we connected because we both followed Sandy Krakowski.
Oh, Sandy Krakowski. Yeah.
Yes. And so I remember talking to us like I think you had like, have you ever heard of Sandy Krakowski? I'm like, yes. And I think I had either just gone to her event in Dallas or had just gotten or was going to it or something. And so
Yeah.
like that timing was perfect. Like, yes, and I'm going to see her or whatever. And I was like,
That's so fun. I love her. She is such an inspiration. Love
I
to see her
know.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remembered that. I was like, oh yeah, we got to talk about Sandy. So I know as I've gotten to know you just on that more personal level, outside of any kind of work events and things like that, we just connected personally. And
Yes.
and I know that I've watched you. You're so involved in the community. Can you tell us about some of the organizations that you are involved in and how you
Oh,
support those?
goodness.
You're very involved.
Yes, so I am an ambassador. The county that I live in has two chambers and chambers of commerce, and they're both very, very large and active. And I'm an ambassador with both chambers, so I'm very, very involved in the events. I'm also in our leadership class for Saline County this semester, and so I'm doing all kinds of leadership things, and that's been fun. I'm a former member of Junior Auxiliary of Saline County. Graduated out of that program, did my 6 years of service, and learned so much about the community and about how to help people, how to get people what they need, and that's just been really cool. So yeah, I'm super involved in lots of things. Sometimes I'm like, wait, I need to take a step back, but it's also fun.
So what do you feel drives you to get involved in that way?
Oh
It's
goodness,
all volunteer work. So
yes.
what
So
drives you?
I love the serving aspect of it, but the first thing that really popped into my head was the friendships. I think it's so hard as an adult woman, especially, to make adult friends. And so this was a way for me to not just be involved in the community, but also to make new adult friendships, hang out with people that I enjoyed who were also business owners and entrepreneurs and who were working towards their common goal of growing their businesses. And I love being just in that environment. It's very conducive to growth and to positivity.
Yes, I think that's so important for us to surround ourselves with people who encourage us and spur us on. They get us, especially when we are um, trying to grow, not just in business, but personally, to get around the people who are where you want to be so that
Yes.
you can grow into that. And then one day you're that person that somebody else wants to be.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
that
be
would be awesome.
and be that mentor, and be
Yeah.
that person that
Yeah.
they're looking up to. And I think,
Uh-huh.
and then that cycle just continues. I think
Mhm.
I think that's part of how we were built. We were meant to bring up that next generation. And then, so we always need to have somebody that's ahead of us, then somebody that's beside us that we can encourage through those moments where we know we're like right exactly in that same place. And then we need to have somebody
Yeah.
behind us that we're pulling up and bringing up behind us and
I love that.
raising
That's
that.
a great analogy. Hmm.
Yeah. So you told us a little bit about how your Arkie Travels blog started. Where do you
Yes.
see it going? Because before we got on camera, you were talking about that it's not monetized yet. So and you're trying to figure that out. What does that look like for you in the future? Do you think?
So my goal, and I've been speaking this for several months now, my goal is to have my own show on the Travel Channel. I'm one of those that goes for the big goal, that big hairy audacious goal. And then, even if I don't reach that, which I think I will, I mean, come on now, I'm speaking it. We're
Why
speaking it into
not?
existence. We're going to
Why
manifest it.
not?
Yes. So even if I don't reach it though, I will get much further than if I hadn't tried at all. And so yes, we have not monetized yet. I've written for a couple magazines, and that has brought in a little bit of money, but not enough to get by every month. And so right now we're in the process of doing that monetization, putting together a media kit and pitching it to sponsors.
Perfect. I think
Yeah.
and I was mentioning earlier, I think that's so important for new entrepreneurs to see, and new people who are just getting started. Maybe they don't have the full picture involved, but they're like, well, let me just start writing about this. Let me start the blog at least and
Yes.
see where it goes from there. And
Yeah.
I think that's so important to show that part of the journey as well.
Yeah. I always say to do it scared. Do it when you don't know anything, when you don't
Yes.
know what you're doing, because you'll learn as you're going along. We started a 52 Arkansas State Park Challenge in January of 2020. And so we have been going to all these parks every week, and we're doing these videos. And each week I'm learning something new about the process that I can add on. So that's been great. And also, you were talking about, monetization and things. We've been doing this almost a year. And my goal in this past year has been to build our audience and to build up the people, to get our name out there so that people know who we are and will come to us for those travel plans. And, where do I want to go in Arkansas this weekend? Well, I'll go check Arkie Travels. I'll
Right.
check out that page and pick something out. And we've become a great resource for people to be able to draw from. And now hopefully that monetization part is going to begin.
And I think that's a really key piece as well, as focusing on that audience building first.
Yes.
Because I know I've made the mistake of, well, I know people, so let me go just throw this out there because people will buy it because I know people. And it's
Yeah,
like,
if you build it,
no,
they may not come. So
no, got to focus on building the audience first. And then you
yeah,
have the right people who know you
yes, yes.
instead of
You
the
are
other way
ready to
around.
jump on board for sure.
Yes, yes. Um, So who do you see, if you were to define your ideal audience, who is that person that you're attracting? And have you really thought about pulling it down into like kind of one person that when you're writing, that's who you're writing for?
Well, based on the analytics, our audience is like 80% women, ages 35 to 55. That ideal one person, I haven't really thought about that yet. I would think that it's a mom who wants to do something fun with her family, maybe out on the weekend, something that is within driving distance, that's quick, and she can get out and create new memories and experiences with her family.
I love that. And I'd encourage you to dig down deeper into that. What is she afraid of? Maybe having, her kids grow up and say, well, we never did anything, or, and get into some of the pain that she's trying to resolve by let's create these experiences. Maybe
Yeah.
it's something she missed out as a child or whatever. And a lot of that's what I do, what I have in my Nail Your Niche masterclass is digging into that. What's that backstory of your ideal audience member, your ideal client? And it's so much fun to dream and create that character. And you're an actress, you understand that you got to kind of put a backstory to
Yeah.
what you're doing so that you have the emotion behind it and everything when you're. And so I think it's the same thing when we're trying to reach an ideal audience, is creating that backstory for that person.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, my one person, her name is Ruth, and she's fairly new in business, just a few years, still trying to figure it all out on her own and getting really frustrated and ready to not do it so much on her own and just follow somebody who's been there.
Oh, that's
Probably a
awesome.
really good way to put it.
Yeah,
There's a whole lot
yeah.
more to her, but that's probably the shortest version that I could give. One of the questions that I love to ask everyone that I interview is what does it mean to you to let God lead, whether that's in your business or in your life?
That is such a good one. So it has been kind of a weekly prayer of mine, for God to reveal what the purpose of this travel blog truly is. I talked to my husband about us being kind of the Chip and Joanna of the travel industry. And, what does that look like being a Christian, but also in the public eye, in front of the camera, doing that kind of stuff. And so it's been kind of a weekly prayer of mine, for God to just reveal, hey, who can we reach this week? If we're out at a state park, who can we be an example to, or who can we reach out to and just provide a little bit of encouragement or a little bit of positivity in their life? We meet so many people out doing all of these state park videos that we're doing right now. And we just want to provide some encouragement and some, I guess the first thing that popped in my head was like godly wisdom, and making sure that people can see Christ in us, even when we're out, traveling, doing fun stuff.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what we're supposed to do as Christians, is just demonstrate that on a daily basis when we're out doing everything,
Mm-hmm.
and not just within the four walls of the church, is to be his hands and feet everywhere.
Yeah.
I love that you're praying for that direction and praying for that, like, how can I impact a life today? Just, not even just, but how can I impact a life today through my blog?
Yeah. Well, I think it's easy to get wrapped up in things and this idea of celebrity and building an audience and becoming this influencer and this figure, that you forget that you were created for a purpose. And God has a reason that you're here on this planet. And it's our job and our obligation to find out what that purpose is and to live it out so that we are living the fullness of our life for Christ. And just, reminding yourself of that it's not about all the likes, and it's not about the comments and the engagement and, being this influencer person, that it's also about who can I reach today for Christ.
Beautiful. So well said. So well said. Well, how can we connect with you? Give us your blog, or any other way that we can connect with you.
I would love for you to connect with us. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube at Arkie Travels, or you can visit our website at arkietravels.com.
Awesome. And I will definitely have that in the description of the video so that
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for telling us just how this started and your vision for where it's going. And I love the Chip and Joanna of of travel. I think that's fantastic, and I can definitely see you and Paul doing that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that just as much as I did. It was great to be able to catch up with my friend. We don't live that far away from each other, but we rarely see each other. However, we have run into each other at some different events involving the chamber. I am just over the moon excited for where she is going in her business. It's so neat to hear her dreams for where she sees her blog going and what she and her husband plan to do in the future with it, to monetize, learning the best way to do that. And I love that she has started slow with building her audience to really build those followers who, once she's ready and she puts something together, whether it's something she creates herself to sell or she starts promoting and other businesses and maybe does some affiliate stuff, whatever that monetization looks like for her, because she's taken that time to build her audience, there will be people there that are going to be ready and waiting and like on the edge of their seat. When she starts saying it's coming, they're going to be waiting like, when is it going to be here? I'm so ready to buy, because they have followed her and watched this journey. And I love the way that she has planned this out very strategically and slow for that purpose. She's done it right. And the great things and big things are coming for her. I just know it. Well, if you are in the early stages of your own business and you've been trying to cobble things together here and there, and you're not quite sure if it's working or where you're going with it, I'd love to be able to talk to you and get to know you and see how I might be able to help you be that ideal person for your audience and how you can best serve your audience. So often we get stuck, and it frustrates us because we reach a certain level, you know, you reach a certain level of income, you reach a certain level of success, and then you feel like you're just stuck there on a treadmill and it's not going anywhere. And you're doing all the same things and you feel you're doing all the right things, but it's just, there's like this wall keeping you from moving forward. And that's something that I'm able to help my clients with, is to figure out what that wall is, break it down, and push forward. But one of the basics in business is to know who your ideal clients are and to put together a brand that addresses their needs so that you're attracting them like a magnet. I'm actually in the process of an exercise to take my own niche a little narrower, give her a little bit more depth and detail from what I have with her right now. And it's an exciting thing to do. I hope that Sarah's story is encouraging to you, because you may just be at that stage of idea. I don't even know where it's going. Just start. I love that she said to do it scared. Just start. Start something. Start writing, even if it's just to start writing in your journal or in a Word doc on your computer, or just to start that very minimal blog. The important thing is to start. You know, over and over again in the Bible, when God would give somebody a direction, he'd give it to them, and he would tell them what promise, that this great thing was going to happen. They always had to take the first step. It wasn't going to happen if they just sat there and continued to pray about it. They were given direction and they were told to go. And that first step, that first action, that obedience to that is what brought the promise about. It is not all up to you. It is not all up to your plans and your ideas. Seek God for what it is. Seek God for the answer. Seek God for who your ideal customer is. Who is it that he wants you to work with and serve to the best of your ability, and serve with excellence, and deliver what you have to give, because God gave that gift to you to share for certain people. So go now, grab your brand building cheat sheet at empoweredcreativitycoach.com/cheat sheet.